12 things you do wrong every day with your gadgets. Renowned psychologist G. Stanley Hall once said, "Man is largely a creature of habit, and many of his activities are more or less automatic reflexes from the stimuli of his environment." This means that we basically do everything on autopilot, from taking our morning shower to setting our alarm or alarms before bed. That's pretty harmless and all, but switching off your brain isn't the best idea when it comes to using and taking care of your cell phone and laptop. So get ready, because we're about to reveal some of the things you do wrong every single day and what you should do instead with your gadgets. Number 12. Jailbreaking your smartphone. No, we're not talking about the Shawshank Redemption here. People use so-called jailbreaking to manipulate their device so that they can download more apps, customize their phone settings, maximize battery life, or increase their smartphone's memory. However, this criminal-sounding activity does have its downsides. They include threat of security hacks, not receiving automatic software updates, and a void on your warranty. What's worse, you risk breaking your phone completely if you don't know what you're doing. Number 11. Saving a soaked phone using rice. This is probably the most popular smartphone life hack out there, but does it really work? Gazelle, a company that sells used gadgets, did a little experiment in which they submerged 9 smartphones to find out the best technique for reviving a device from a watery grave. They then put one of the phones in uncooked rice, and, contrary to popular belief, it didn't survive. So what should you do instead? Gazelle's team found that all you have to do is take out all the inner parts and leave them out to dry. Or you could always get a waterproof phone if you're willing to spend the money. Number 10. Sleeping with your phone. Just look at what technology is doing to us. Our phone is the first thing we reach for in the morning. It's glued to our hand pretty much all day, and it's the last thing we put down before we hit the sack. It's like our phones are our life source or something. However, in a 2016 Twitter post with shocking pics of burnt bedsheets and pillowcases, the NYPD's 33rd Precinct warned the public of the dangers of putting your phone under your pillow and letting it charge overnight as you're sleeping. The batteries can easily overheat and melt. In some cases, they even explode. So yeah, don't do it. That's what nightstands are for. Okay, what about checking your social media, browsing the web, or doing a little late-night online shopping before you go to sleep? Nope, you'd better not. First of all, according to the American Macular Degeneration Association, that bright blue light coming from your screen can ruin your eyes. Oh, and it also messes up your internal clock, making it more difficult for your body to go into sleep mode. And last, but certainly not least, it can increase your risk of developing cancer, since smartphones emit electromagnetic radiation. Number 9. Picking up your laptop. How do you pick your laptop up? You ever grab it by the display just to quickly hoist it up? Or maybe you carry it from one room to another by any of the corners? If you do, you gotta stop. It can damage your laptop's hinge or even the internal parts. When a laptop is shut, it should be picked up by the front or rear. Otherwise, use both hands to pick it up on each side. Treat your laptop right and it'll return the favor. You know, you won't have to spend a bunch of money on a new one. Number 8. Sitting with your laptop. Hey, it's called a laptop for a reason, right? It goes on top of your lap. Nope, that'd be incorrect, at least partly. Keeping your laptop on your lap while you're using it can be really bad for your health, especially for the fellas. According to Dr. Jesse N. Mills, an associate clinical professor of urology and director of the men's clinic at UCLA, the heat and electromagnetic frequencies a laptop produces can have a detrimental impact on a man's reproduction capability. So basically, keep it cool down there, guys. Number 7. Stacking laptops or hard drives on top of each other. In case you have several laptops or hard drives you're not using at the moment, you might want to be careful about how you store them. First of all, stacking laptops on top of each other can damage their screens due to the weight. And if you're stacking hard drives for storage, you also risk scratching and damaging them. Plus, if they're clinking around on top of each other, it creates vibrations that can really mess up their internal parts. Placing a piece of cardboard between them should prevent that from happening. As for hard drives in use, you gotta put them in some sort of rigid mounting system to avoid overheating. Use separate storage bins for your laptops. Number 6, failing to update software or apps. That message we all love to ignore. Who wants to wait over an hour just for a software update? No one, that's who. But it's still really important. Every update contains bug fixes, additional features, and security updates that are necessary to keep your device in tip-top shape. Set an update schedule on the weekends so that you don't get bothered with this annoying message right in the middle of doing something important on your computer. If you keep putting them off, these updates will just continue piling up on top of each other. And that just equals more time that you've got to wait when you finally decide to update. Number 5, charging your iPhone. Have you ever noticed your iPhone getting pretty hot while it's on the charger? Perhaps you left the case on. Apple strictly advises their users to remove the case before plugging their phone into the charger. And if your phone is taking forever to charge, try putting it on airplane mode. Yeah, sure, you won't be able to stream music or videos, but at least it'll speed up the charging time a little bit. Hey, you win some, you lose some. Number 4, not disinfecting your cell phone. In a 2011 study, researchers at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine found that 1 out of every 6 smartphones contains fecal matter. That's bacteria-filled remnants of number 2. According to Dr. Charles Gerba, a microbiologist at the University of Arizona, cell phones carry 10 times more bacteria than most toilet seats. Is that reason enough to start disinfecting your phone? Good! To do it the right way so that you don't damage your device, dip the corner of a soft microfiber cloth into an alcohol water solution and wipe your phone down, both the screen and the backside. Use a dry corner of the same cloth to remove any residue. Don't use abrasive cloths or anything that leaves lint like a paper towel. And no, your shirt won't cut it either. Number 3, freezing batteries. Here's a weird myth that goes back to the 80s. Putting a battery in the freezer will make it last longer. But according to the experts at Duracell, batteries should be stored at room temperature in a dry environment, not inside your freezer with your popsicles. And their competitors at Energizer agree, explaining that the extreme temperature can corrode the seal and damage the battery. Number 2, not backing up your devices. Whether it's a smartphone, a laptop, or tablet, it needs to be backed up regularly. You might be lucky today, but are you willing to risk it if your luck runs out? What if your gadget gets stolen, damaged, or hacked? Avoid these scary what-ifs and back up your data. There are tons of programs and cloud services out there, some of which are totally free, that can easily back up your device with just a few clicks. And if you don't trust third-party services, manufacturers always have their own backup software you can use. Number 1, using keyboard feet. What are those little feet underneath the keyboard supposed to be for anyway? Ergonomics? Good guess, but not quite. Baker Cuisin, a company that specializes in developing ergonomic hard and software solutions, explains that those feet were put there back in the 1980s in order to imitate the height of typewriters, which were used way more often back then. Are they even still used today, or are they already ancient relics? Anyway, these feet are supposed to tilt the keyboard towards the user so that they can see the keys easier. But we've learned a lot since the 80s, and we now know that this tilting is actually really bad for you because it strains your wrists. The best and safest way to type is with a flat-lying keyboard. Are you guilty of any of these offenses? Do you know any other things that people often do wrong when it comes to technology and gadgets? Share your experience and knowledge in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and share it with all your friends. Click that big red subscribe button and stay with us on the bright side of life.